These were the headlines on Monday, the day before the election. We were given a sort of a playbook of exactly who Democrats would blame if they lost the election. Take a look at this. Natalie brought this the other day. Kamala Harris supporters ready to blame Joe Biden if her campaign fails. Black voters are being set up by the left to take the blame for a Kamala Harris defeat. So they were already telegraphing, no pun intended, exactly how this was going to go. And that's exactly what happened. So you heard from surrogates on the Kamala Harris team last night specifically about Tim Waltz. They made a huge mistake in picking Tim Waltz, a white guy from Minnesota. Oh, They should have gone with Josh Shapiro from Pennsylvania. Oh, black voters, you guys really, screwed the pooch here. You did not support Kamala Harris.
Sane as that?
I don't know. I just couldn't think of something else to say. Here was the View just a few.
Is it?
Yes. Here was the View just a few minutes ago. This is Sunny Holst. I want you to listen to her rhetoric. You can see how pissed she is, how much anger she has in her body. Watch this.
So why do you think that uneducated white women voted against their reproductive health freedoms, and why do you think Latino men voted in favor of someone that's going to says he's going to deport the majority of his community?
White women like being called uneducated white women. I think the economy matters, national security matters. But when you put people in these boxes, I think that's a takeaway from this race.
Yeah, good for Farah for actually pointing that out.
Yes, girl.
So she's like, yeah, all these uneducated white women, all these stupid white women that voted for Trump, all of these Latinos that voted for Trump, you're stupid, basically is what she's saying. All you black guys out there who voted for Trump, you're stupid. That's what she's basically saying with her her Upper West Side elitism that she's carrying there.
Yes, because she doesn't have to live in neighborhoods with criminals. So when Democrats say that they want to let out criminals or flood the border and criminals actually move into these Latin communities, Latins suffer first. They're the ones that get raped. They're the ones that get burgled. They're the ones that get their cars stolen and get shot. And guess what? They kind of don't like it.
Yeah.
And so they're saying, this racist idea that Latins want an open border because they see people that look like them, that's not how it works.
Wait a minute. So let me understand this, Sonny Holston, and all of you liberals out there who are crying about this and who are putting out this blanket lie. I've heard it multiple times over the past 24 hours from liberals, like on a podcast that I listen to regularly. It has nothing to do with politics. They were saying, Trump's going to deport all of these Latinos. I can't believe how Latinos would vote against. This is ridiculous. So let me just get this right. So a Mexican who is here on a green card legally in the United States working, earning money for him and his family, suddenly thousands of illegal immigrants come into this community and take away his job. He's supposed to support
be excited about that.
Do you hear what you're saying?
Right.
So this was I don't know what echo chamber they're living in, but they totally dropped the ball. I don't know what data they were looking at. I don't know who they were talking to. Were they not talking to Latino voters?
I think it only makes sense if you don't actually know any Latins or black people. And right. Something that Candace Owens says repeatedly is black people are by nature more conservative if you actually talk to them. But I think that, not the ones that are coastal elites. Go ahead, Philip, please.
Like the most Latino county in the United States in Texas went for Trump for 96%. I mean, that's just, shows that identity politics, it has failed. It is not working.
Yeah. And in Pennsylvania, in the Reading, Pennsylvania, where I'm from, the corridor, the Latino corridor, huge population of Puerto Ricans that live there. Many of them who work on the mushroom farms there and have lived there for years. They don't want illegal immigrants coming in and taking their jobs. And so they voted for Trump. So this weird echo chamber that liberals are living in right now just shocks me. And then, of course, there's all of the crying. So liberals, they can't just cry at home and be upset about it and talk with their friends. No, they have to flip on their TikTok cameras and then cry into their TikTok cameras. And this was all over social media last night. Here's just a snapshot of some of the liberals crying. I'm crying. Hold on, let me go get my camera so I can film myself crying and then put this out to the world.
Ugly cry is what I call it. It's not a beautiful cry. That's not, I don't know what you're going for here, but that's not flattering. Go ahead.
How did we get here? How did we get here? What in the Alice in Wonderland nightmares is going on right now?
All I can say is how fucking dare you?
If you voted for that man, if you voted for
anybody other than Kamala and you live in one of the states that it was, close, or if you didn't vote, fuck you.
Senate race. It's not going to happen. Go Kamala.
I chose family. I chose women. I chose America. I love you.
How the fuck is this still happening? All I've ever known politically is hatred.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm done with you and your mother and your sister. I'm just done with all of this.
What did my mom do? What did my sister do?
Yeah. This harkens back to the study that we talked about last week about how liberal teens have the highest rates of depression because they're focused on the wrong things. The media tells them all kinds of things that makes them super upset. And if they're not reading books and actually looking into those things, that this is how they feel. And I get it.
Yeah, they're going to feel depressed.
I'm really sorry for these young people and how upsetting it is to them. I truly am.
Yeah, it really is upsetting. And because when you have people like Joe Scarborough and MSNBC, and they put out these lies and they make you believe that all of these people who voted for Trump are racist, they're misogynists, they hate women, they're fascists, they're going to lock you up in some sort of internment camp. This is remarkable. So this was what's it called? Morning Joe just a few hours ago. Watch.
I just say really quickly too, Democrats need to be mature and they need to be honest. And they need to say, yes, there's misogyny, but it's not just misogyny from white men. Mm-hmm. It's misogyny from Hispanic men.
Right.
It's misogyny from black men, things we've all been talking about, who do not want a woman leading them. Might be race issues with Hispanics. They don't want a black woman as president of the United States. You know, the Democratic Party, I've always found when you're sitting around talking, they love to just sort of balkanize everybody into these separate groups and say, oh, white people don't like women and black people. No, it is time for the Democrats to say, okay, and you and I have talked about this before, a lot of Hispanic voters have problems with black candidates.
Right.
A lot
and with other Hispanics. You got some that don't like each other. And some of the most misogynist things I've heard going on this Get Out the Vote tour came from black men. I mean, misogynist things. So you're absolutely right. It's not simplistic. And we've got to have real honest conversations about it.
Real honest conversations.
Yeah, real honest conversations.
What examples? What examples? What does anybody know what black men said that was misogynist?
So are they saying that when black men called out Kamala Harris's fakeness, when a lot of black men on videos and so forth, and you saw it in polling interview and so forth, saying they thought she was phony.
Yeah.
So that's misogynist?
Well, I don't know. If you've seen something that you truly think is misogynist, I would like to see that. I want to know.
Well, Joy Reid is losing it. And hold on, let me play this because she's flipping out and totally losing it. And basically says, of course, that President Trump will lock people up. He just like Hitler, just like Mussolini, just like Viktor Orban. What? This is the kind of stuff that they are pushing now. Watch this.
We on this side of the TV screen have said all we can. We've laid out the stakes in this crucial election, where one side stands for freedom while the other meets the textbook definition of fascism. Namely,
so you're all fascist.
Far-right dictatorial regime like Hitler's Germany or Franco's Spain or Mussolini's Italy.
I'm so glad they had that wall at the ready.
South Africa before Mandela and the black majority took control, or Vladimir Putin's Russia, Viktor Orban's Hungary, or Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela today, that suppresses the rights of women and minorities, uses the military to execute the whims of a strongman dictator, and controls and suppresses the press, education, the arts, rewrites history to suit a favored and dominant racial class, and foments extravagant corruption.
So do you hear yourself, Joy Reid?
Freedom.
Everything you just said is exactly what the Democrats did and have done. Suppression of the media, censorship, locking down freedom,
vaccine mandates,
using the military to strong arm the rest of the world.
Yeah.
That's what you've done.
Cheating in elections, installing a puppet government. What the hell?
So if we look at some of the numbers here, Harris had a 25-point edge over Trump with Hispanic females was notably lower than Biden's 39-point advantage. So Hispanic females went for Trump in a way that they had no idea was going to happen, apparently. Overall, Trump won 45% of Hispanic voters nationwide. That's unbelievable. Compared to 53% share that Harris had. That is a huge increase for Latino voters for Trump. But listen to this. Trump's share with Hispanics of both genders was up 13 percentage points compared to the 2020 exit polling. So he improved his position since 2020 dramatically. Also massively with black voters. Huge gains in swing state exit polling across the country. When we were watching Georgia last night, we were watching the black return votes in exit polling out of Florida. And we're saying, wow, these are stunning numbers out of Florida. Holy smokes. If this carries up into the Northeast, into Philadelphia, into Illinois, into New Jersey, into New York, this is going to be a sea change. The GOP, President Trump also received about 20% of the black vote in the Badger State, which is pretty remarkable. Far less than Harris got. 78% backing was a big improvement over his last cycle there. So huge numbers there. And also Trump won only 8% of black voters in 2020 in Wisconsin back in 2020. So a huge increase in the black vote in the state of Wisconsin. So you can lie to your viewers all you want, MSNBC and CNN, and try to paint all these people as misogynist, they're racist, black voters. You're somehow racist now against. Who are you racist against? Who are you misogynistic against? Because it turns out women also didn't vote for Kamala Harris. So this idea that your uneducated white women didn't vote for Kamala Harris, super chat here from Rachel Day. Thank you. She says, excuse me, uneducated white women? I may not have a college degree, but that doesn't mean that I'm stupid or uneducated.
Yeah, that's a good point. They mean not college educated. So, and speaking of education, if you tuned in late last night and my son joined us for a little bit, he's a teenager. He goes to high school. And some of the things that the teenagers were chanting Trump about is that they all agreed they're afraid to be drafted into foreign wars based on lies. So this is another fear that maybe more conservative leaning people have. Democrats just feel like, I'm not going to war. Don't worry about it. That's not a real possibility. But a lot of teenagers are. And so this anxiety about what we're putting on our kids, I do feel responsibility for that too. They're afraid. We're all afraid. And so it doesn't help anyone to cry on a camera about things that may be nebulous when literally we are in war. Right now, we have 57,000 troops that are in harm's way.
In the Middle East, just in the Middle East alone.
Today.
Yeah. And it looks like, who knows if it's going to get worse before it gets any better. Also, it should be noted, too, so I'm curious about this because the Amish in Pennsylvania. So, again, the state where I'm from and next to Berks County where I'm from, they had Lancaster County, and you had a massive turnout. Upwards of 180,000 Amish voters coming out voting for the first time. Voting for the first time in a U.S. election, and they voted for Trump. Why did they do this? Are they racist? Are these like white Amish racists that came out and voted for Trump? No. You know why they did this? Because of government overreach. The Biden administration's overreach into the Amish community, telling one particular Amish farmer that he couldn't produce raw milk. Couldn't produce raw milk? And the Biden administration is involved in that. Meanwhile, our borders are wide open and tens of thousands of people are pouring into the country. But raw milk is what you're concerned about, just like Peanut the squirrel. So the Amish came out in droves. Are they all racist? Here was one exit poll. Here's speaking to an Amish person after a vote in Pennsylvania. Watch.
And who are you voting for?
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Are you Amish? Can I ask? Awesome.
Yep.
And so the Amish are going to be coming out to vote this year?
Some of them, yeah.
What has caused so many of the Amish to register to vote this year?
Probably just they want to get out and vote and make a difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Have you guys been affected this past 4 years underneath the Biden-Harris administration?
I would say definitely. Yeah.
And in what ways has the Amish community been affected?
One way is that with Trump, the Amish had, I would say, they had more freedom, and with the Biden administration, there was not. It started getting tighter and tighter.
Tighter and tighter. There is a massive new scam that's been growing across the United States. How many of you, I'll just ask you guys in the chat right now, how many of you guys own your own home? Just let me know in the chat on Rumble and on YouTube here. Let me know how many of you own your own home and how many of you actually check on the ownership of your home's title on a regular basis. Like how many of you are aware of the safety of your own home title? Well, a rising scam across America now. A few years ago, it didn't even exist. Now it's exploded. And the FBI has specifically even set up task force to deal with home title fraud. Yes, people stealing your home title. So you might be asleep one night and wake up and find out that you don't even own your own home anymore because a scammer has managed to go to a notary and literally steal your own home using this scam, home title security. So when it comes to security, most homeowners think about security measures like video cameras, security alarms, and deadbolt locks to keep their property safe. But home protection goes well beyond this, safeguarding your physical space, and it is in the digital space. Now, this is how this is happening. Scammers are getting more sophisticated, and they don't need to break into your home to actually steal it. They can steal it from you using your own home's title. The FBI calls this scam house stealing, where scammers can access your home's equity by filling fraudulent documents out with the county. They can file them with the county, and the county recorder doesn't even have to verify it. So they can steal your home's equity and then go and use it for other purposes. This is absolutely crazy. And because property records are public records, that means anyone can access your information. And the scary part is you likely won't find out until unpaid loan bills or foreclosure notices start arriving in your mailbox. By then, the damage has already been done and left you with a legal and financial nightmare to deal with. The best thing you can do for your personal security is to make sure that your most valuable asset is secure in every way. That's why I protect our home with Home Title Lock. Guys, and I'm telling you, you guys need to look into this immediately. It is your first 30 days, by the way, are totally free. And you can just test it out for 30 days. But I'm telling you, this is like having that extra layer of protection for your home that you didn't even think you needed. HomeTitleLock.com/redacted. Try it for free for 30 days. What they do is they monitor your property records and they alert you of any changes. Like you could be asleep and wake up in the morning and you get an alert from Home Title Lock that someone has basically been trying to steal your home title. And I'm telling you, it's amazing. But the best part about Home Title Lock, I've talked to their team. I talked to their team on the phone last week because I was so fascinated how they operate. They have a team that will actually restore title to your house. So if this happens and you get scammed and they steal it from you, they will help restore it and get it back to you. It's actually really amazing. You can get a 30-day free trial right now by going to the website on your screen, HomeTitleLock.com/redacted. Get a complimentary title history report by going there. Again, HomeTitleLock.com/redacted, or click on the link in the description box below. You need to check it out. Again, it's free for 30 days. Protect yourself against these scammers. And I'm telling you what, we're hearing this from these illegal groups that are coming into the United States, and they're doing this, okay? Not even Americans doing this, illegal immigrants as part of these gangs doing this, stealing home equity. So protect yourselves, guys, and you can try it for free right now. So I'm really excited about these guys because I've heard about them for a long time. And when they reached out to be on the show, I was like, yes, let's get them on here. So thank you.
Title fraud is as old a business as they come. Do you know that's where the saying, if you believe that, I've got a bridge to sell you, comes from?
Really?
Because scammers were quit claiming the Brooklyn Bridge. They didn't have any claim to it, but they were selling their possible claim in the Brooklyn Bridge, and people bought it. So that's where there's a little trivia for you.
I just saw someone say this is why the blockchain is so important. Yeah, the problem is that the laws are not as advanced yet as where these scammers are. And that's what the FBI is having to deal with a lot of these problems right now.